So I have once again gone through and dissected the new Jedi Survivor trailer for probably like the 10th time at this point. And today we're going to be going through all of the enemy types that we can see throughout the trailer. And then I'm also going to go through and kind of point out which ones are old and which are new. Obviously some of these were in Fallen Order, but some of them are completely new to this game. And then I'm also going to try and touch on like what difficulty I think they're going to be. Some of them will be obviously very easy, and some of these may potentially be some of the toughest enemies in the game. So there is actually quite a few to go through. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to cover the bosses in this video. They're more like one-off battles. The rest of the stuff I'm talking about in this video is just going to be like the regular enemies that we see scattered throughout the map. And so there are a few that I'm leaving out, but I'm leaving them out essentially on purpose. So without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. If you guys are enjoying the Jedi Survivor content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. There's going to be plenty more content like this on the way in the lead up to launch. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into it. So the first one that we see in the very beginning of the trailer is one that we kind of knew was coming. It had been leaked by a figurine that has been pretty much out there, and it had a Magna Guard with the Jedi Survivor logo on it. Now, Magna Guards are obviously new to this game. They were not in Fallen Order, and we've obviously seen these in the prequels. They were pretty much General Grievous's like bodyguards, really. And I've got a feeling that these guys are going to be pretty damn tough. I don't think they're going to be like the hardest in the game, but in terms of like regular enemies, I would say that they'd probably be like a 3 out of 5 or maybe even 4 out of 5 in terms of difficulty. Pretty similar to what the Purge Troopers were. There was a lot of Purge Troopers in Fallen Order that were pretty difficult battles if you played on the hardest difficulty. And just because of the staff that they use being essentially exactly the same as the Purge Troopers, I'd imagine they will play pretty similarly and be about the same difficulty as those Purge Troopers. Now, the very next shot we see are the Scout Troopers, which are obviously in Fallen Order, so these are returning characters from the first game. And I think we would all classify these as low difficulty. Some of them obviously, like the officer ones with the orange pauldron, they're a little bit more difficult, but overall you would say these are probably some of the easiest enemies in the game, and I'd imagine that will be the case in this one as well. The very next shot that we see shows 3 different enemies actually all in the same shot, those being the KX series security droid, a regular stormtrooper, and then the flame trooper. Now thanks to the comment section for pointing that out. I thought these were snow troopers, and I also thought we didn't see them in Fallen Order, but we definitely did. The flame troopers were pretty prominent on Kashyyyk, so thank you to the comment section for pointing that out. Now all 3 of these are obviously returning from Fallen Order, and I'd imagine all of these are going to be pretty easy. The KX series droids were definitely a little bit more difficult, but we actually see in this shot that Cal dismantles the thing pretty quickly. He just uses the Force to push it back, which I don't even think he could do in Fallen Order. I think Cal's going to be a lot more powerful in this game, and so I do think a lot of these enemy types will be a little bit easier than they were in the first game. The next shot then shows both a heavy stormtrooper, the one with the shield, as well as 2 regular stormtroopers. Again, all of these are returning from Fallen Order. Now, speaking of easy, the next ones are going to be very easy, and that is the battle droids, the clankers as we like to call them. Now, these are obviously new to the game, and I'd imagine these will most likely be the absolute easiest enemies in the game. Maybe there'll be some like low-level creatures that are a little bit easier, but I'd imagine the battle droids are going to be some of the easiest enemies in the game. Both the blaster variation that we see here, as well as the ones with like these melee weapons, I'd imagine they're all going to be pretty damn easy, because at the end of the day, they are literally just battle droids, and we see what they're like in the prequels. We then also have a super battle droid, or a B2 battle droid. These will most likely be a little bit harder, but I'd still imagine these won't be like super tough. They'll probably just be like that step up from the regular battle droids, and obviously these are also new. They weren't in the first game. We're definitely getting spoiled for like prequels throwbacks here. Lots of Clone Wars era content in terms of all the battle droids and stuff like that, but again, I don't think these guys will be like super difficult or anything like that. Now we also see a Wampa, and it's obviously not a white Wampa, it's like a brown colored Wampa that is obviously just from a different planet, and I don't think this will be a boss fight, but I could be wrong, and this could definitely be a boss fight, but I wasn't too sure, so I thought I would chuck this one in here. I do think whether it is a boss fight or not, I think this is going to be a very difficult enemy to kill. We see it absolutely like ragdolling Cal around in the trailer, and so I'd imagine this will be one of the most difficult battles in the game outside of the actual boss fights, and I'm definitely very much looking forward to it. Now moving on to the 2 final enemy types that I could find in the trailer. Both of these are definitely very exciting. The first one is the DT series sentry droid. We see these in Rebels. I think they were also potentially in The Force Unleashed. I could be wrong on that, so please let me know down in the comment section. These are obviously new to the game, and there's something we haven't really seen all that much in Star Wars, so I'm very keen to have some battles against these guys, and I do think they will be very difficult. They almost look like they'll be purge troopers on steroids, and I can imagine I will die plenty of times to these guys. So I'm partly looking forward to them and partly definitely not looking forward to them either. Now the last enemy type for this video is the BX Commando droids. We obviously see these in the Clone Wars. We also saw them in Battlefront 2. Shout out to all my Battlefront 2 players. These are probably my favourite reinforcement in that game. But anyway, these are obviously also new to the game, and I'd imagine these will be kind of like a medium difficulty. I don't think they'll be nearly as hard as, like, say, a Purge Trooper. We do see in this clip that Cal is fighting 4 of them, so I don't think they would put 4 super difficult enemies in one location, especially a location that just kind of doesn't look like it's a big, like, chaotic moment of the game. It kind of just looks like Cal is just running around and then he just comes across 4 BX Commando droids. So I don't think they'll be like super hard, but I also don't think they'll be easy. They are very good when it comes to melee combat, and especially if they're hanging around in packs like this, then they definitely will not be easy. But I'm very keen to see these guys in game nonetheless. So anyway guys, that is all of the enemy types that I could find in the new reveal trailer for Jedi Survivor. I don't think I missed any, but please do let me know down below if I did miss any. There's a good chance the ones that I missed are just the ones that I think will be boss fights, but if there are some that I missed, then be sure to let me know down in the comment section. Like I said earlier guys, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and to turn on those notifications. There's going to be more content like this on the way. I'm going to go through all of the force abilities and attacks and stuff that we see Cal doing. I'm also potentially going to cover all of the stances that we see Cal doing, so there's going to be more videos like this covering different elements of the game, as well as any news and speculation and stuff like that. So if you guys are very excited for Jedi Survivor like myself, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.